Hi, hello, and welcome everyone to this another edition of the Sugar Frosted Podcast. Ooh, this is a spooky one. This is a spooky one, guys.
I'm scared.
Already scared, yeah.
All right, to the left of me, John Perdue.
Hello again, everybody.
And also to my left, Scott Whiting. Hello. Oh, the days are so short now that it is dark at 4 o'clock.
It's not exactly true, but we don't live north of the Arctic Circle.
It feels like it, okay? It really feels like it. So the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer. It's getting chilly outside. Ooh, I like chili. You know what that means?
I think I do. I think I know what this means.
Flannel shirts.
Halloween.
Oh, it is getting spooky time outside. Do it again. There we go.
There you go. Ooh, got a little word in
This is our special Halloween episode.
You could get the crow in there. That's good.
So we're going to be talking about all things Halloween. All the shows that did a special Halloween episode, and we're gonna I have on there some of the made-for-TV movies and some groovy 70s Halloween specials. Dun dun dun.
Good sound effect. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, wait a minute. This
Amateurs.
Stop moving. Turn that one down. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Halloween, all things Halloween, as far as pop culture goes. No, how are you guys? I don't know if you guys know it. I like Halloween.
What? I've heard a rumor about that. Yeah.
No.
So does it piss you off when people say Halloween isn't really a holiday?
Well, I mean,
It's a lifestyle.
it honestly, as a holiday, predates Christmas.
Well, yeah, but does it?
Yes, it does.
Christmas as we know it.
Right. Before, when it became Christmas, I mean, there was already Halloween before that.
Right.
And now, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I see a lot of anti-Halloween things coming up on, we don't practice Halloween, we don't celebrate it. It's the devil stuff.
Who doesn't practice Halloween? What?
The people that celebrate Jesus Ween.
What about favorite Halloween candy? Anybody got?
Yeah, and this is going to go against the grain.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of honey.
Bit of honey?
Yes.
Well, why not Mary Jane?
Slowpokes.
What the hell? Why don't we eat normal candy around here?
You know, what's great about those is you can buy one and it lasts you forever. You never have to buy another one. Later that year.
He's eating it in May. What about you? You're not getting away with this. What do you?
Well, I do like the Reese's peanut butter cups, the pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
The pumpkin shaped ones are so much better.
Now see, when you start changing, Reese's cups are my kryptonite, and they're not Reese's, by the way. It's Reese's.
Yes, and I said Reese's.
Yeah, I know you did, but that made me think that you pronounced it correctly. When people start talking about Reese's,
yes,
the man's name
don't know why that is
fucking Reese. It's
Yeah.
Reese. Possessive Reese's. Anyway, when you start toying with the ratio, when you start changing the shape, it changes the way the Reese's taste to me.
Really?
So like the little Reese's Christmas trees and the little Reese's dreidels and the little Reese's
Dreidels? I don't remember the Reese's.
I don't remember the dreidels. It starts to change.
Dreidel. Make you out of Reese's. It's Reese.
Anyway, yeah, I wasn't count. I was really more thinking of my non-chocolate favorites. Obviously, if you get a full-size Snickers, you're in like flat, right?
Yeah.
You know, but who does that anymore?
Were either of you guys fans of like the wax lips and the wax fangs and
Or and the bottle cap, the bottles of
the
wax
bottles of
pure sugar, toxic liquid inside that you greedily lapped up and didn't ask questions about. Yes, candy cigarettes. Also.
Candy cigarettes are great.
And the Big League Chew.
Oh,
Never got that as Halloween, but I always wanted it. But yeah, you ever get fruit when you were a kid? Did you ever?
I used to get
those?
apples.
See,
Raisins. The tiny boxes of raisins.
who the fuck wants raisins? Yeah,
The same people that would hand out pennies.
I got that too. It's like, come on, man, who wants Sun-Maid at a time like this?
Well, you know what the weirdest thing was when you used to empty out your bag and there would be individual pieces of candy corn. I'm like, who the fuck gave me a piece of candy corn?
It's a parade. They're just tossing candy out.
I'm disappointed I never had drugs in my candy.
Again, that's the other thing that's always on Facebook is be careful because now they're putting this out and it's actually pot and I'm like nobody's giving out edibles. No one's giving out edibles.
It's expensive, right?
You're not. They aren't trying to get your kids hooked on pot because it's not possible.
Check your kid's candy. I found a whole city of Detroit in my Snickers bar.
Like, you spent $840 on edibles? Yeah, man, it's Halloween.
Trick or treat, man.
Trick or treat, man.
And 15 kids later, I'm out. I mean, all that shit's just silly. And you remember you have some places call it Devil's Night, and some places call it Damage Night. And,
What's that?
And we called it Cabbage Night.
Cabbage Night, yes.
Which was the night before Halloween, and you went out and my soaped windows, and where I was from, you would shuck corn.
What?
You shuck corn, put it in a brown paper bag, and you would throw a handful of corn at people's houses. Now, when it hit an aluminum storm door, louder than shit inside the house.
Seems like a lot of work.
Oh, it was. We would shuck corn for a week.
Fucking delinquents, man. God. We just celebrated we come from different parts of I grew up in Florida, so we just had Halloween. We didn't have any
Joe, you didn't have.
We didn't vandalize houses or anything like that. With corn. We kept our corn for eating. We weren't corn rich like that.
So why was it called Cabbage Night?
I don't know, and I actually looked it up because we always called it Cabbage Night, and I looked at Wikipedia said that, and it was weird because it was like parts of Boston and parts of New York called it Cabbage Night, and Northern Kentucky.
That's weird.
Yeah, just Northern Kentucky, along with Boston and New York. Isn't that? That's odd.
That's
isn't
odd. It's a very odd geographic anomaly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely a thing. But I guess let's go ahead and get into this.
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
Let's start with the special Halloween episode of different shows.
Okay. So here's a list just to start us off. Mm-hmm. Here's a list of sitcoms that did not have a Halloween episode.
Oh, okay.
Gomer Pyle, USMC.
Fucking Pyle.
Pyle. Green Acres. Three's Company. One Day at a Time.
They didn't have a Halloween party at the Regal Beagle?
No, believe it or not.
That's horseshit.
So One Day at a Time. CPO Sharky. Maude.
Wait, what is CPO Sharky?
Oh, that was Don Rickles. He was a CPO in the Navy.
I threw that one in there because I knew that was going to get you. Maude, Mary Tyler Moore, Too Close for Comfort, and oddly enough, Seinfeld. Seinfeld never did a Halloween episode.
I can see that.
Yeah.
They weren't.
But Curb Your Enthusiasm apparently did. I didn't research that one, but apparently, even though Larry David, because that's the common thread there, there was a Halloween episode apparently of Curb Your Enthusiasm. But
I'm going to have to look for that.
yeah, because that sounds pretty funny.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, but just about every other sitcom did a Halloween episode. Some of them did multiple episodes. Like, we were talking in the green room earlier about Roseanne and
and Home Improvement.
Improvement.
They both
right.
did
Multiple.
them almost every year.
Cheers did 3 Halloween episodes.
Yep.
Of course, The Simpsons had their Treehouse of Horrors. That's every year they did that. So yeah, they're sort of on the pantheon of Halloween sitcoms. The writers or the producers or whomever just embrace the Halloween lifestyle, as they say.
We may have to get into a few of those.
Yeah, I think we should probably do that. Yeah.
First, I want to bring up the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, I'm glad you did, because that Halloween episode is hysterical.
1962. And I think this was the first season.
Yeah.
And of course, all Halloween episodes, of course, on TV shows are like the 4th or 5th episode of that season, because, they started in September.
Yeah, right.
And so now this one, the Clampetts they were missing home. They didn't know anybody.
Yes.
And they decided to start walking around on Halloween and start introducing themselves to neighbors.
This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
And so they go to the first house, and she opens up the little, what do they call those little
sliding
doors?
door?
Yeah,
You get to see your face, half your face.
Yeah.
I don't know, like flappy door?
Flappy door. I'm going to go with flappy door. And so she thinks they are trick-or-treating.
Nice. That's a brilliant. I could imagine in the writer's room, like, hey, I know what
my favorite line on that was, she's looking through this little door, and she goes, "Aren't you a little big for this?" And he goes, "I'll say, I don't think any of us can fit through that door." So yeah, they go in, and she gives them Halloween treats and some really killer-looking pulp.
Yeah.
Pumpkins filled with candy. But the one thing, okay, the Clampetts had never heard of Halloween. This is a 2,000-3,000-year-old holiday.
That's one of the plot holes.
But Ellie knew the rules of football. She's bragged about making 3 touchdowns and kicking 2 field goals. So she knew that. Never heard of Halloween.
Yeah. That episode is like an SNL skit where they just kind of keep doing the same joke over and
Yes. I tell you what, I was like, fuck, I guess I need to watch this episode, and I was pleasantly surprised, because I guess the early episodes, I forgot that they were actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was an appearance by Jethrine, which is Max Baer Jr. wearing a dress. And the wonderful Bea Benaderet as Pearl.
Yeah.
Jed's sister, I think.
I think sister. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This was, and we'll get into this a little bit of a different tack on the tried and true storylines that all these sitcoms did for Halloween episodes, which is haunted house.
Yeah, you usually had a slightly spooky episode.
Yeah.
This one was strictly dealing with Halloween.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's good. That's a good one to start off with. Along the line, what about the Andy Griffith Show? The haunted house.
And that one's called The Haunted House.
Yes. Yeah. So just to go into a little bit of what I was just talking about, here are the titles of some of these sitcom Halloween episodes for these sitcoms. Andy Griffith Show, The Haunted House. Leave It to Beaver, The Haunted House. Different Strokes, A Haunting We Will Go.
Which took me about Willis.
And then there's a couple more that are just, well, here's one. It's Happy Days, Haunted.
Yes.
So, And then a lot of them are trick or treat. The most cumbersome one is Bewitched. To trick or treat or not to trick or treat is the name of the episode.
And I think they had an episode called Twitch or Treat.
Oh yeah,
Which is hard to say.
Yeah, Twitch or treat, right? Yeah, we might as well talk about the Bewitched. So
they had like 5.
I could see that because it's a show about a witch, right?
I mean, it's basically a Halloween series.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the thing with Bewitched is it was sort of a parallel for a mixed marriage.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because you're right. To me, it has always felt like a metaphor for a mixed marriage.
Yes.
And this episode in particular sort of goes into...
Which one are you...
I'm sorry, to trick or treat or not to trick or treat.
Okay.
Eudora is upset that Samantha and the kid they're celebrating Halloween in a stereotypical witchy fashion.
Yeah, and
that's kind of groundbreaking.
That sort of because I have both. I have Trick or Treat and Witches Night. Witches Are Out, which are both the same sort of thing where Endora is pissed off that they are celebrating Halloween, and Samantha says she doesn't like Halloween because of the stereotypes.
Right.
And she, like in one, she opens a box and there's the ugly witch face cut out. And
right, it's like, right, and to me it reminded me of blackface.
Shit, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they are getting at.
Right.
On the episode, I'm like, damn, I never thought of Bewitched as being multi-layered. And it fucking was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and it's ground. I mean, people weren't talking. I mean, they veiled it obviously.
Yeah.
But it's kind of thinly veiled. I mean, you can see pretty much right through what they're
Right.
trying to think. If you cared to look, that's the other thing. Back in 1962.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I hadn't watched Bewitched since I was a little kid on reruns after school, so I didn't think about it. But after watching these, I'm like, holy shit! Now I get it.
Yeah. Right. So they're still doing, Blackish. That just jumping ahead 5 decades. It's like, okay, did you see the episode where, they're not black enough for the father?
Yes.
It's like a very stereotypical thing, but it kind of goes back to, it examines those stereotypes and how you don't want to be associated with them necessarily, but you still want to maintain, like they wanted to maintain their witchiness.
Yes.
But they didn't want to be stereotyped as
right. Right, as being old hags.
Right. Although Endora was kind of like that, to be honest.
Let's be honest. Awful. She was an awful person.
Yeah, she was.
She treated Darren like shit.
Yeah, both Darrens.
Yes.
Which one?
And both Darrens are dicks, right?
Yeah, but
Dick York and Dick Sargent.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And they both did Sam.
yeah. Well, guess what was on in syndication in the 70s when I was watching TV? Bewitched.
Yes.
So, yeah, that was a good one. That's a good one. Those two are good ones just because they're a little bit different than some of the other stuff.
Yeah. But yeah.
Since we touched on it, you want to talk about Roseanne a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, Roseanne is not my favorite sitcom. For me personally, it hits a little too close to home for growing up. But
I get it. Yeah.
So, but
Because Roseanne was your mom.
Roseanne was more like my dad. But yeah, it's a fair point. But yeah, in a lot of these sitcoms with the special, it was like the adults get into the situation where they celebrate Halloween as adults, which is AKA they're at a costume party, right?
Right.
And Roseanne, they did these incredibly inventive costumes, right? There was one where they did kind of a French Revolution theme where I guess John Goodman or Dan Connor is holding Roseanne's head.
Oh, yeah.
Very elaborate, creative costumes. Now, my question is, the premise of the show is they're poor.
They're flat broke.
Right, they're poor. Where do they come up with thousands of dollars.
It's a good point.
Elaborate
Yeah,
costume.
as soon as you said,
It's like, wait, aren't these guys poor? Maybe you wouldn't be poor if you didn't spend $2,600 on a Halloween costume every year.
and the premise for both the Roseanne Halloween episodes and the Tool Time, the Home Improvement, they were basically the same premise. Mm-hmm. The Halloween party,
Yeah.
and dressing up, and something went amok.
Something goes socially amok.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always somebody commits a social faux pas, and that's kind of how.
Or the spouses
Bicker.
doing a trick on them.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah. But they stuck with it. They did one pretty much every year. I don't know about the reboot, as I never watched the reboot, but I had to be. I watched the show. I watched it some.
Yeah, same here.
Laurie Metcalf was good in it. I like her as an
Yeah.
actress, so I would watch that. And of course I like John Goodman. Everybody likes John Goodman, right?
Well, yeah. It's hard not to like
Yeah, it's hard
John
not to like John Goodman.
I always found Roseanne grating. Mm-hmm. I mean, her delivery, everything was just grating. And back when the show was on, I remember asking, like, why is everybody supposed to be afraid of her?
Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause she said smart-ass one-liners, right?
Nobody would be afraid of the large lady in polyester. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. There were annoying characters. Both the kids were annoying. All three of the kids. Even DJ was annoying to me. But yeah, both Beckys were annoying. And I guess Darlene. Yeah, she was pretty annoying. They're good actors. They did. It's kind of like Married with Children. They were supposed to be annoying. Right?
I like the second Becky better than the first.
Oh,
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
So was it Sarah Chalk that was the second one?
Yes.
Yeah. The first one was ugh. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't like her at all, but yeah. And she ended up on Scrubs, right?
Correct. Yeah, she did.
Yeah. And when I'm getting my lineage straight there. But yeah, they have to be given credit though for doing sticking with the Halloween episodes. So, yeah.
Then we have, and it's crazy that both shows didn't do it because, of course, you had the Munsters.
Yeah, and like the Addams Family and the Munsters, it's like you didn't. I guess it was like shooting fish in a barrel to do a Halloween.
You almost didn't need one.
Right, yeah.
But the Addams Family did Halloween with the Addams Family of 1964.
Oh, they did.
Did they dress up as normal people?
Well, they did. The family goes all in for the festivities, including bobbing for live crabs. And dressing up in much too startling costumes. Wednesday dons pigtails and a cute dress.
So yeah,
And Pugsley a mustache and a business suit.
Dressed
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, they and in this one, there were two bank robbers that took refuge in the house after their car broke down out front, and one of them was Don Rickles.
of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Talk about the Treehouse of Horror.
Which one?
Well, because there were 32 of them or something like that.
Yeah, I think we're up to 35 this year.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Pete.
So no one apparently loves Halloween like the writers for The Simpsons. I have to admit, my favorite part of the Treehouse of Horror things are the fake names that they give them on the credits.
On the
James Hellbrooks and all that
Yeah,
shit.
Matt Groening.
Yeah, Matt Groening, right? Just like bad dad jokes one after another. But all of these Treehouse, and there were, for those of you who amazingly haven't seen an episode of Treehouse of Horror, there are three stories. Basically, the act break breaks the story. So
Yes.
there's three stories. So each one is based on a parody of something horror related or Halloween related, right? So some of the stuff they've done The Raven, The Shining, Child's Play, Pet Sematary, Soylent Green, even.
Yeah.
And the Omega Man, which this one, it's called the Homega Man. That's great. So the Omega, you know the Omega Man, right? It's kind of like the I Am Legend thing where he.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah, he survives a pandemic and he's all by himself. So yeah.
Well, actually, I just sent you guys a little still I took of my television on Charlton Heston's The Omega Man.
Oh, yeah?
And it was listed under blaxploitation. Who the hell is coming up with these categories?
I saw that. How does that resemble Shaft?
Like, yeah. Have you seen The Omega Man? Netflix.
Oh my god. Blaxploitation. Interesting. So yeah. But my favorite, I have three favorites since they split up into three. Two of them are from the very first one. That is The Raven.
The
Raven is absolutely brilliant. They should have. I don't want to say they should have stopped there.
No, because they had a lot of great ones.
They had a lot of great ones, but they were never going to do that again. That was brilliant. So those of you who haven't seen it, they did. The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Bart was the Raven. Mm-hmm. Homer was the central character, and James Earl Jones was the narrator, and he was just flawless. It was just incredible. Dan Castellaneta's reading of that, when he starts to get frustrated and scared, it's brilliant. You have to see it just because it's literature meets pop culture in the best way.
And they tell they recite the poem
Verbatim. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I never get tired of seeing that whenever it's on. It's like I got it's the Raven, the Simpsons Raven is on. I got to see it.
It's fantastic.
From that same one, Hungry Are the Damned, where Kang and Kodos are they abduct
From To Serve Man from Twilight Zone.
Right. Yes. And the whole shtick about the book and the dust on the book.
Space dust?
Yes. How to cook for humans. How to cook for 40 humans. Or how to cook 40 humans. How to cook for 40 humans. It's hilarious. And then how when they first abduct them, they're sucking them all up into the ship, and they got when they get Homer's too heavy, and they have to deploy the second beam. And of course, The Shining is the third one.
Oh, Shining! Well, that one.
The Shining is parody, obviously, of The Shining. So
Give me the bet, Marge. Give me the bet.
with Groundskeeper Willie, who's the most underrated of the Simpsons characters, is the central character on that one. So I think that's where we first learned that he was ripped. You know?
He is jacked.
Yeah, he is super jacked.
And,
Been doing CrossFit for 10 years.
Oh, okay. It wasn't that one. It was the episode where Groundskeeper Willie was like Freddy Krueger.
Oh, yes.
That was brilliant.
One of my favorite lines in that is Homer goes in to adjust the thermostat because everybody's hot. And there's a sign that says, "Don't touch Willie." Excellent advice.
I remember that. That was really funny.
And then at the end, when Willie turns to dust, and then he becomes okay again to sweep himself up.
Yes. Some of those were downright creepy. Do you remember the CGI one where he's...
Yes.
That was really weird. He gets up with that vortex and he's walking around that town and he's like, "Ooh," and he's all scared.
It was, and
They made a big deal about that episode.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's when 3D stuff.
Because
that
it was 3D meets real D.
That was real cutting edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was really cool, but a little bit creepy. But it's Halloween. It's supposed to be creepy, right?
Well, that's right. And then on some of the other
Was that the
names-
same episode where they did it was the Poltergeist?
Yes, that was the, what was the other... That was
Because I feel like that was in
Bad Dream House.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the same episode. So it was The Raven, Hungry of the Damned, and Bad Dream House were all the very first one. So hard to top that, but they did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Omega Man, and then they had
Omega Man.
Clown Without Pity.
I almost put Clown Without Pity in there, but
Starship Poopers.
yes.
I Know What You Diddly Hid.
I remember that one.
Let's see. Hex in the City.
Yes, I remember Hux in the City.
Writers are genius.
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
But this is Frankenstein. We're Professor Frink. That's right. Professor Frink. Frankenstein.
He'll make you laugh, they'll make you think.
Yeah.
The Ned Zone.
Yes. Remember the obviously a spoof on the Dead Zone.
You gotta know when to Gollum. I've grown a costume on your face. One of my favorites, and it's I wanted to say newer, but I guess it's not anymore.
Yeah.
It's the Grand Pumpkin Millhouse, which that one was pretty good. Don't Have a Cow Mankind. I mean, there were so many really, really good. Now, here recently, this past week, I watched maybe the last 5 or 6. Not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Well, the show's been trying to jump the shark for a decade and a half, but it hasn't quite done it yet.
It hasn't.
It's on its way. You just kind of feel it, but
There were a couple of storylines in them that were okay, but nothing like they used to be.
yeah, right. It's hard to stay that creative for 3 decades, right?
Well, yeah, and they had a hell of a. I mean, I would say the first 20 are
yeah, that's right.
really pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's an obscure one.
What's that?
MASH.
Ooh,
Yeah, MASH did an
Yes.
episode called Trick or Treatment.
yes.
1982. Of course, they get choppers. Choppers. One of the injured is believed to be dead, but is actually just comatose.
And has a toe tag on,
Yes,
right?
Right.
Was
yeah.
this an Alan Alda
It
directed?
sounds like an Alan Alda directed. I didn't check that, but yeah, it definitely sounds like Alan Alda. One of the interesting things about this one is this episode has Andrew Dice Clay in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also David Ogden Steers, or George Wendt.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Now, did Andrew have his
No, he
leather
didn't.
jacket on and smoking cigarettes? Oh, hickory dickory.
I tried to watch one of his stand-ups once.
Yeah, what was going on with
He was so popular, and I'm like, I've heard of lowbrow, but this is no-brow.
This is unibrow.
Yeah, this is a unibrow.
I mean, it was terrible.
It was terrible, and it was funny because it's like, what? Where's there's no, like, there's got to be some sort of clever turn of phrase or something, right? But
There was none.
You know. Right, you look at that and you look at the whole.
And it wasn't done ironically.
Yeah.
Now I'm just picturing it in MASH.
I'm doing nursery rhyme. He was he played a drunk in that, like a Corporal Hrabowski or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, that was that obscure one. They didn't, MASH was on for what, 8, 9 seasons, 10 seasons, and they don't. I think that was the only Halloween episode that they did.
Yeah.
So
Hell, we could do an episode on MASH at this point.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How about News Radio did
Did they?
Halloween episode.
I
News Radio,
really liked that show.
News Radio was really funny. I think it's a very underrated sitcom. Maybe you consider, who was in it.
And I
Hartman.
actually like fucking Joe Rogan in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Joe Rogan, Phil Hartman, The Kids in the Hall guy. I can remember his name.
Dave Foley.
Yeah, Dave Foley. I can
Andy
remember.
Dick.
Andy, yeah. Even Andy Dick was good in that.
Yeah.
You know.
And, what's his name?
The burly guy.
The boss.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him on the...
Episode that we've recorded a while back ago.
Yeah, a long time ago we recorded an episode. And
Office
he
Space.
was the... Yeah.
Who? What?
Milton
Stephen Root.
Stephen Root
That's
was
right.
the boss
That's
in
right.
that.
I forgot about that. So the episode deals with the news team. They normally produce the annual Halloween party for the station, but they got snubbed, and Stephen Root's all he's in a dither because he of course it's funny because it's Phil Hartman and those guys. News radio wasn't really long enough unfortunately to establish more of that, but
All interaction when it was Phil Hartman, Stephen Root, and Dave Foley, when it was those three, fucking gold.
yeah.
Every minute of it, gold.
Yeah. I really missed that show. I missed that show. It just wasn't on long enough. It's like there's some shows.
You remember when Phil Hartman was walking around with a walking stick all the time? And then Dave Foley hated it. So he took tape and taped it to the building outside the window. And then Hartman's looking all over for it, and he goes, "You magnificent bastard."
You can almost see him saying that like Troy McClure.
I'm Troy McClure.
You magnificent bastard. Remember when the episode where he was trying to quit smoking? And he ends up in his office, that the closing glass, and you look over and it's like it's just all filled with smoke. He's supposed to be smoking, or not smoking, but he's not, it's glass, so it's transparent. Anyway, but that was an obscure one. The MASH and the news radio. Gilligan's Island did one.
Was it Ghost to Go?
Ghost to Go-Go. And
Richard Keel.
yeah, full of corny jokes.
Well,
almost vaudeville.
It was Sherwood Shores.
Right. Bob Denver was Dracula.
Oh, that's right. It was sort of a dream thing.
Yeah, they're sitting. The Howells are staying in a haunted house, and it's a complete departure of the whole "we're going to get off the island" thing. This is a very weird episode.
Yeah,
but it was funny, and in the fact that the professor was Sherlock Holmes, and yeah, very very strange. Bob Denver's like, maybe we should invite him in for a bite. This that kind of shit.
Dawn Wells was the girl I like to bang.
What's that?
Dawn Wells was the girl,
girl
I
you
like
wanna bang?
Yeah. She played that in that episode.
She played. Well, Tina Louise was good in that as Bob Denver's Gilligan's wife.
Well, everybody, I was Team Marianne the whole way, man.
Yeah,
I thought she was.
In retrospect, a lot of people were. Then that girl next door. I think she recently passed, right?
She did.
Yeah,
from COVID.
COVID. That's right. Yeah.
Who was Team Mrs. Howell?
or Team Thurston Howell.
Anybody?
Bueller? Anybody?
Now the Dick Van Dyke Show did one.
Yes, they did, and it was scary.
Did it kind of creepy.
Yeah, it was scary.
Which is kind of a departure from most of the sitcoms in the '60s. They were all, and they did a real creepy episode.
Yeah.
Called a Ghost of a Chance.
A Chance. That's right.
And so they go to a lodge where you get these cabins, and they get there and they say, well, it's all sold out. There's no place
except
this one. It's down by the lake. It's its own cabin, but it's haunted.
Or they say a guy died in it, right? Isn't that what it was?
Well, he said it's haunted.
Oh, he did say it's haunted. Okay.
Yeah. And so Rob is laughing it all off. Oh,
yeah.
So they wind up going there, and then rocking chair starts rocking by itself, and then you see some face with a mustache in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A fire starts by itself in the fireplace.
That's right.
And it turns out to be like a candid camera thing was going on.
Oh, okay.
But they abducted, like they snatched
Yeah,
Buddy and
they would snatch him.
Yeah, snatch him behind his doors.
Man, I watched this the other day, and I swear I forgot how funny Maury Amsterdam was.
Maury Amsterdam was hilarious.
He was so damn funny. His takes, his delivery, his scared shtick was fantastic.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He's a good writer too. I mean, he was just everything. Anyway, Dick Van Dyke has always been effusive in his praise of Maury Amsterdam. And
Oh yeah,
great guy.
I mean, they used to call him the human joke machine.
Oh yeah, long before Jackie the Joke Man Martling.
Yeah, I mean, he was the real deal.
Yeah.
I would imagine he, came up in the Catskills or whatever.
Should your light be blinking?
No, it's
Okay,
it's right.
It's fine.
We're
Okay.
recording.
Okay, I was just performing my duties as assistant engineer. Okay, just making sure we don't embark too far on this journey without.
Because it was blinking at one point.
It was blinking at one point. That's what freaked me out. Anyway, so yeah, the Flintstones did one.
I guess really they did two.
Oh, did they?
Which one you got?
I have the. Which one do I have? A Haunted House is Not a Home.
Right, which was basically a parody of A House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, right. Like the whole story, tired premise is like you're gonna inherit this mansion if you can stay one night in a haunted house. But what I don't understand,
Uncle Giggles.
Yeah, what?
Uncle Giggles.
Uncle Giggles. I'm not staying at Uncle Giggles' house.
No, that does not sound like a good time.
It's a very bad time.
And I did not rewatch this one, but hearing the laugh that he did, I want to think Howard Morris probably did that voice.
So what was the other Halloween episode?
When the Gruesomes moved next door, and
Oh yeah,
Weirdly and Creepella.
Creepella. Clever names.
And Howard Morris did do the voice of Weirdly on that episode.
Okay. Here, this begs the question: why would you want to inherit a house that's haunted if the stipulation is you can have it if you can bear to stay in it for a night? How?
I mean, offer me that. I'm going to stay there.
Well, yeah.
Well,
and then
yeah.
I guess you could sell it, but who wants it if they know it? There's just too many questions I have.
Too much baggage.
Too much, yeah. So anyway,
Do you have a house like that we can stay?
the haunted house. You can have it if you can stay one night.
And of course, you mentioned the Happy Days episode from '74.
Yeah. Yeah. That was called The Haunted House, right?
Haunted.
Haunted. Yeah. Richie and Joni visit a haunted house.
Well, Ralph Malph is having his annual Halloween party, and they choose the local haunted house, this abandoned house that everybody says is haunted. Well, they have it there because they figure. You remember the Demons? They were the gang that was in like the first 2 seasons.
Oh yeah.
And they had the chubby leader of the Demons named Bag.
Remember Bag.
They wanted to do it in this abandoned house to prevent Bag and the Demons from crashing their party.
Why are you named Bag? Because I'm shaped like a bag.
I had a couple of silly scares, the rumor of the headless woman, and so, and then at the end they see a woman coming down the stairs without a head.
Yeah.
And of course it was Bag.
Of course.
See, I thought it might have been haunted by like Richie's older brother.
So looking at that, it was like, do you remember? There was I did the Chris Farley thing. Remember?
Do you like that part?
Time We were doing a podcast, and we were talking about
it was Halloween.
Yeah.
Was it spooky?
Did you like that? But there was a Disney record, one of those Halloween records that had Ron Howard on it. Remember that? He was someone that was going with a girl to visit a haunted house, and
Yes.
I saw that. I was like, okay, I feel like there's a correlation here.
I have that on vinyl.
Do you?
Yes.
Sure you do. Because you have everything on vinyl.
It was the Haunted Mansion when the Disney Haunted Mansion attraction first opened.
Okay.
So there was a bit of a tie-in there.
I see. I gotcha. Okay. So that was Haunted Happy Days. Brady Bunch did one.
Fright
Night. That's right. This was the dumbest thing because it was basically we're the boys and we're gonna scare the girls. And
Boys against the girls.
the girls are gonna turn the tables and win in the end, right?
Yes.
So yeah. They just recently sold the Brady Bunch house, right?
Did they?
Yeah. Sold it for, I don't know what the price was, but it wasn't cheap. I don't know if I would want to live in the Brady Bunch house, to be honest with you.
Well, they had just renovated the whole house and made it look like back.
Wait, they did that for it was like a TV
Like the
TV
Christmas story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they did the Simpsons that way. They did the Simpsons house. They did the Christmas Story house. Apparently, I guess the Christmas Story house was like people actually lived there, and people were getting tired of. They were
so
getting
now
tired of people going up and picking.
So now they sold it as like a commercial.
Okay, yeah, I would get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Because it's in Cleveland.
Oh, it is.
It was where they filmed the exteriors was in Cleveland.
Okay.
And then in the movie, they mentioned that they lived on Cleveland Street.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
So now,
So Fright Night, yeah, there's just not much really.
you have they rig up the ghost coming down the stair, floating down the stairs on the wire.
Right.
And then Marcia does the thing up in the attic where, I don't know, something starts moving up there when the boys are staying up there.
Yeah.
And then Alice freaks out and breaks the bust of Mr. Brady that Carol had been working on. And
Oh, that's right. She was such a klutz, that Alice. But Mel loved her. Was it Mel?
Mel, yeah.
Yeah.
The butcher.
Now, who was the cook in Alice? Was his name also Mel? Vic Tayback's character?
Was it Mel in the Brady Bunch?
It was Sam.
Sam the Butcher.
I called him Mel because I was thinking of Vic because they're kind of similar. Didn't not to get off on too much of a tangent. We wouldn't do that, would we?
Oh God, no.
But wasn't Sam the Butcher in those Charmin commercials or one of those commercials for toilet paper or something?
No.
No. Not
But-
Mr. Whipple. It was somebody. He. Never mind. It was some sort of
Now his name was
Sam. We thought we covered.
no, but I mean the actor. I want to think his name was Alan something, and he was like he showed up in at the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah,
as
he was like a
bully.
television character actor.
Yeah,
Alan Melvin.
Yes,
Alan Melvin.
Alvin Melvin. Okay.
he showed up in all kind of things
I see.
over the years.
But he wasn't in any commercials that you can.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. You get on that.
I don't recall commercials with him.
Yeah, I might have been imagining that. I mean, I was 4. 4-year-olds make shit up.
Now, I got one.
Yeah.
The Muppet Show did a Halloween episode.
Oh, did they? See, I didn't see that one. Like, you're talking about the early, like the 70s Muppet Show.
Yes,
okay.
the variety
prime
show.
time. Yeah, the variety show. Right.
Which was they had Alice Cooper.
Yeah. Doing the schools out.
So he performed.
I did see that one. Yeah.
And he played a character where he was the devil's assistant and was trying to get people to sell them their souls
Oh, okay. I think I did see
for
that.
fame and
Don't
fortune
remember.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was reading this thing with Cooper, and he at first because they said that Jim Henson wanted him to do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to go. We've been trying to work up this whole persona where I'm evil and all this, and how is it going to be if I'm acting with puppets? And he goes, you know, who else has done this? He goes, well, Christopher Lee and Vincent Price have done it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I want to go to there.
That's right.
And so he was talking about it was one of his favorite times. He goes, you rehearse for a week in London, and after a while, the Muppets were people. You were talking to them. He goes, hey, you're talking, and you're going, what are you doing for lunch? They'd say, your lunch today. And they go, I don't know. What are you thinking? And you're actually talking to him because Miss Piggy would say, you want a Diet Coke? Because I know you're not drinking now. He goes, yeah, sure. He goes, you'll wind up having these conversations with these puppets because you stop thinking that they're puppets.
Right. That's so hilarious.
On a side note, Alan Melvin was in a commercial for Liquid Plumber.
Oh, that's right. Now that I remember.
That's what I remember. I mean, really, I know that looks like revisionist history there. I just remember seeing him in a commercial of some sort.
Well, you said toilet paper, Liquid Plumber.
Yeah, kind of the same concept, right? Not to touch on Cheers too much, because I don't think I ever saw any of the Cheers Halloween episodes, but some of the names of the episodes are funny. Diane's Nightmare and Bar Wars 5, The Final Judgment.
Oh man, I don't think I even read about that one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Or, did you watch Cheers? Did you like
Yes,
Cheers?
I was a big fan.
Okay, I was also a big fan until it got, I think until Frasier and Bebe, what was Bebe's name?
Baby Newworth.
Bebe Newirth's name on the show, though. It was Lilith.
Lilith,
That's
yes.
right. That was a little hard when they came on, but you kind of got used to it. And I didn't like when it jumped the shark with Kirstie Alley. But anyway, I loved Cheers. I mean, it was such a good.
Oh, yeah.
But I never saw any of the Halloween episodes.
And then you remember when what was his name? Dan Hedaya would play as Carla's ex-husband.
Yeah,
Nick Tortelli.
Oh, that's right. I thought that was Jay Thomas.
No, he played her current husband.
Oh, okay.
He was the ex.
I got
and
you,
he
yes.
was married to Casey Kasem's wife.
Okay.
She played his new wife.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good show. I missed that. Woody Harrelson got his start on that. It's hard to believe where some of these people get their starts.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like the Tom Hanks syndrome. You know,
Yeah.
and you didn't see that coming with bosom buddies, but somebody else did apparently. So, yeah. So yeah, like I said, I didn't see much of that, but they did more than one. So, do you want to diverge off into the Great Pumpkin?
Sure, we can
Yeah.
talk about the Great Pumpkin.
Yeah. It's a little bit different than because it's a TV special.
Yeah,
right?
that was a special.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sure you have copious notes on TV specials, right? 'Cause-
You know, there weren't as many.
As you thought. Because a lot of this Halloween
Halloween
stuff
TV
was couched into a sitcom or a different
Yes.
or a show.
Yeah.
You know, like the Simon and Simon Halloween special. I mean, I don't know if there was a Simon and Simon, but but the Great Pumpkin was obviously that's the gold standard.
Yeah, 66.
Oh yeah,
And
not long ago. Wow.
Had the great soundtrack by Vince Guaraldi.
Mm-hmm.
Guaraldi,
Yeah.
all the flute stuff, and
Yeah, those Peanut specials soundtracks were great, weren't they?
They were.
They were fantastic.
yeah. I mean, I never get tired of hearing
Yeah, I mean it's
the
good.
soundtrack. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And they had the running gag of "I Got a Rock." That was it
Yes.
was great. And then what I didn't realize is, they did the little side stories with Snoopy as the World War I flying ace,
Right.
And that is what popularized Snoopy as a character.
Was it really?
Yeah, and
He was the Red Baron,
The
right?
Red Baron. That's right.
No, he was fighting against the Red
Fighting
Baron.
the Red.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then, the other thing was that was the first time they did Charlie Brown trying to kick
the football from Lucy.
Yes.
Something about that just, and I know it was supposed to. It irritated me. I know it was supposed to be funny. Was it supposed to be irritating?
Yes, I think it was. I think it was showing how irritating Lucy was.
And that was it, because I kind of felt like there was a bigger lesson there somewhere.
Lucy's a bitch.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Okay.
I do not like the Peanuts or any of the holiday episodes.
You know, that's not really. I've heard other people say that too. I just grew up watching it, so it was kind of like part of the pop culture language.
And I tell you what, there's no denying the artistic endeavor of those specials. I mean, they were groundbreaking in what they did.
Right. Yeah.
Just because I respect them doesn't mean I have to like them.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah, and then, there's always an underlying, like a morality lesson there that,
Yeah.
Charlie Brown had a good heart. He was a loser with a good heart. He never gave up hope with the Great Pumpkin, and the lesson is maybe you shouldn't either. I give up hope every time I get out of bed, but that doesn't mean you have to.
Getting out of bed is your Great Pumpkin.
So yeah.
Well, and then I mentioned this before we started recording. It was Chips.
Now I gotta say I don't remember it.
1980. Well, I did remember because they did another episode called Trick or Treat, where they, I don't know, hilarity ensues. But they did Devil Rock in 1982, and it has the main plot revolved around Moloch, a shock rocker, and he wore face makeup like Kiss, and he was played by Donnie Most, who was TV's Ralph Mouth.
I can't imagine. I'd like to see that because I can't imagine what Donnie Most would look like.
And
15 years
he
after.
sang in the rock. He did some song, his rock and roll song in the episode.
Really?
And so, I mean, Happy Days was still on at the time.
In 82?
82, absolutely.
Yeah, you think of it as being like a 60s sitcom, but it really was on in the 70s and 80s, right?
Yes.
It's just based in the 60s.
Exactly.
Or the 50s.
Well, 50s.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to say his last name, but the subplot featured a young pre-Metallica Robert Trujillo, the bass player.
Trujillo.
Is that how
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the dude that's always flinging his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played a teenager named Flippy.
Was he flipping his hair?
Yeah, I bet he was flipping his hair then too.
Come down, Flippy.
And then finally, Elvira makes an appearance, flirting with Punch,
Of course.
and then they do the tango.
And that's how they end it.
Probably.
Oh.
I didn't.
We're out of ideas.
I will say that I did not look this one up to watch.
We're out of ideas. Just do the tango.
I was not a big Chips fan.
We'll do a slow fade.
Now, see, I would think Chips would be right up your alley. It's kitschy and campy.
It is, but
I think it was unintentionally campy. I don't think they were going for camp.
No, they were not.
But it ended up later, obviously, being, how these things eat themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think Chips is a good example of that. Elvira, though.
Yep.
What a
We're just sitting
dame.
here thinking about what a dame.
That we all don't have a chance.
That's what when she came out as being
Wait, what?
gay.
You didn't know that?
Cassandra Peterson
Is what?
as being gay.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, this was like last year.
Oh.
And
Dude, this is so last year.
all these message boards on all these old guys saying, "Boy, that's disappointing, man. I can't." Like, dude, like you never ever had a chance, no
chance.
matter what her sexuality was, ever.
Yeah, damn, I was close.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. It's kind of like when I found out. One of my crushes in high school and college was Kate Pearson.
B-52s.
B-52s. I have to say she still is. I've always loved Kate Pearson, but I love the B-52s in general. But yeah, not that I was disappointed when I found out that she was, that she was gay, but not disappointing. It's just like you kind of have to readjust your brain a little bit. But,
Right.
But yeah. Kate Pearson, love her.
No.
Barney Miller did an episode.
Did they?
Yes. It was called Werewolf. And this was a little bit different. 1976, by the way. As a man claiming to be a werewolf is arrested in a park.
Ooh. I think I remember that one.
You may remember it because he reprised that role in like 6 different episodes that were non-Halloween. Like they would keep arresting. He was like one of the recurring arrestees.
Yes.
And he was a werewolf, and he would stand in the cell and howl, and they would goof on him.
Because wasn't Roger Howitz like freaking out thinking he was going to turn?
Yeah.
And he just kind of stood there howling.
Roger Howitz. I love that. Oh man, I love that show. Ron Glass. God.
Ron Carey.
Yeah, Hal Linden. What's his face?
Abe Vigoda.
Abe, yeah. You'd forget Fish. You're good when you have your own spinoff with Abe Vigoda.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I just loved it.
And in the earlier episodes with Sergeant Yamana.
Jack Sue.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was good stuff.
And how amazing that they lucked out with what's his name being Dietrich.
Oh, Steve. Was it Steve Landsberg?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you would think losing somebody like Jack Sue, and holy crap, Landsberg was fantastic.
Yeah.
In that.
I
show.
always felt like later when like Richard Belzer joined Law and Order, it felt like it wasn't as funny, but it was. I could see similarities between him and the Steven Landsberg Dietrich's character. It was really funny. But that was just a great show. Roger Howitz was funny, of course. Well, they were all funny. It was just well cast. It was a very well cast.
It was
Yeah.
brilliant writing again.
Yeah.
Now I got to talk about this one for a second.
Okay.
Route 66.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one.
They did one October 20, shown on October 26, 1962. And what makes it's run of the mill. It's not great television.
Route 66 wasn't a great television.
No,
It was okay.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Martin Miller. But what makes it great is that Boris Karloff, Peter Lorre, and Lon Chaney Jr. are all in this episode.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It is the first time since 1939, 38 that Karloff puts on the Frankenstein makeup.
Oh, really?
And it was also the last time he ever wore it.
Wow. I wonder how they talked him into that.
I don't know.
Maybe they didn't need to. Maybe it's like,
And
I'm looking for an excuse.
he did not play Dracula.
That's right. I mean, it's.
Yes, he's more that guy.
He's bilingual. It's fine.
He speaks Dracula and Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster. Sorry, I don't mean to offend.
But what's interesting, though, they're having a conversation, the three of them, because they were going to be on something as the monsters, you know. and they were saying that, with the way horror is today, with all the killers and everything else, they were like, no one's going to be afraid of a guy dressed up as a monster anymore.
Yeah, because it's like the difference between horror and slasher. Right?
Yeah. This is 1962, and what's funny is just a few years later, Karloff would star in a movie called Targets, and I think it was his last movie role, and it's the same thing. The character in that movie is saying, he had been a horror movie guy, and he's like, well, they're not going to think the stuff is scary anymore. Sort of the same thing. And that movie, though, Peter Bogdanovich directed it. Yes.
Really?
Good movie. It's a very good movie. So yeah, I thought that one was super interesting because of the thing with Laurie. Oh, and then they have what is it? Peter Lorre's checking into a hotel. The lady at the desk says, "You're the spitting image of Peter Lorre," and he goes, "That's a bit insulting, isn't it?"
That's good. I love the self-deprecation. That's pretty great.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a Halloween episode of Night Court.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I think there are a couple. I did not have them.
The one, it's about the Angel of Death.
Oh, yeah.
Played by Stephen Root.
No kidding.
Yes.
Stephen Root is the tie that binds.
It kind of... It's like 6 degrees of Stephen Root.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been in everything.
It's crazy.
I could see Night Court sort of lending itself to a Halloween episode if you think about it, right? It's perfect.
Well, yeah.
He gets thrown in jail for attempt of... I just lost my audio.
I got you.
There we go. He gets thrown in jail for contempt of court. And all these people are surviving miraculous accidents while he's in jail.
And you're right. It lends itself well because Harry Anderson with the magic and
and the venue of all the like this carnival of life going through his courtroom.
Yeah.
I can see that lending itself to some good Halloween episodes.
And I love the episodes with his dad. John Astin played his dad. Oh. He was thrown into an asylum, and he's out, and he keeps saying, "I'm much better now."
Leave It to Beaver had one.
Oh,
Really?
1959. It was called The Haunted House.
Did Larry Mondello show up in this one?
Beaver gets a gig as a dog walker for an old lady who is supposedly a witch. And guess what? It's all a big misunderstanding.
She wasn't really
She's
a
not
witch.
really a witch. She's a nice old lady after all. This was not Jerry Mather's first appearance in a Halloween episode.
No.
He was in an Halloween episode of The Adventures of Ozzie. Is it The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet? Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't research that one, but yeah. Again, it's the whole haunted house misunderstanding thing.
Seems to be a common theme.
Oh my God, what's that? I'm scared. Ryan,
It's the beaver.
Yeah, it's the beaver. That's a funny sounding beaver. Yeah. Now I've heard beavers in my time. But, nice beaver. Thanks. I just said it's stuff. Different Strokes. Talk about Different Strokes. I had one.
Oh.
It's called 1984. Haunting We Will Go. And more of the same.
Misunderstanding?
No. It's like they have they hear that there's a haunted house down the street, so they go check it out. So It's that you think these writers would come up with. I mean, it's hard to do. The Beverly Hillbillies, as we discussed, did it. Bewitched kind of did it, but otherwise, it's just, hey, I know what we could do. Let's do a haunted house thing. So I got.
Damn it! Now I gotta take another shot.
I got a question about Different Strokes. I mean, why did they do a pedophile episode?
Why did they or didn't they?
Why did they? You don't know about the pedophile episode?
Was it the bike?
Yes.
The bike episode? Yes, we all know about that.
Yes.
It's called The Bicycle Man. I mean, who came up with that one? It's like, I know, guys, I got this week's episode. It's going to be in the can by Wednesday.
Okay, hear me out.
Hear me out now. Don't judge too quickly. We're gonna have a pedophile try to molest Arnold at a bike shop.
Is this a Christmas episode?
And I guarantee that ABC would have tonight on a very special.
What was that guy's name that did all those
I can't
promos?
think of his
That guy
name.
from Cleveland,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
Anderson. Somebody Anderson. Yeah.
Ernie Anderson.
Ernie Anderson. Yeah. Yes. And tonight on a very special Different Strokes. Frank Caliendo does a really funny thing with that, like the dichotomy, like with these promos is like, on Just Shoot Me, David Spade goes crazy. And on a very special. Yes. But yeah, I can't. Back in 1984, or yeah, whenever the show was on, I don't know if that was the year, but come on, man, pedophile. That's not funny.
No, it's not.
Why do sitcoms feel the need to do it? That's why we have hour-long dramas.
Yeah, I always hated the very special episode of everything.
Right. On a very special Scrubs.
Every time they said on a very
JD
special,
beats a pedophile.
I knew I was not going to like the episode.
What I always wanted to hear was on a hilarious new episode of Hill Street Blues. Hey, look, another tangent. Oh man, Halloween. What can you do? What can you know?
I got one, The Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah. Well,
Now,
there you go.
Okay, now, again, you would think, okay, every episode's
Halloween.
But this one was a Halloween episode. It was, that was shown on November 4th, right after Halloween. The Howling Man.
Okay.
So this guy, it's shown in flashbacks and in present day. And this guy's hiking through
A haunted house.
post-World War I Europe. And he comes upon this castle called the Hermitage, and it's run by monks.
Yeah.
And he's taken in. At first, they try to turn him away. He's soaking wet. He's famished. He's beaten down, and they want to turn him away. They don't want him to spend the night there. And the main monk is played by John Carradine.
Oh, there you go.
Fantastic
Yeah.
horror character actor. So then they get in there. He gets in there and he hears howling.
You're getting a lot of money out of that.
Yes. And he's like, what was that? So he looks around and he finds this guy in a cell, and it's got just a staff, a crook staff, holding him in there. And the guy's like, well, can you move this so I can get out? They've been holding me hostage. And so it winds up, the guy feels bad for this guy, removes the staff, which Carradine says is the staff of truth. Guy starts walking out, and the camera does one of these where you can see him walking toward you, and then it gets to the camera, and then it goes back, and you see him from the front again. Each time it comes to him, when the camera comes around, he's changed a little bit. The ears grow pointy, and he has a little goatee.
Oh, wow.
And he says, "Ha ha! I'm the devil. I fooled you." So it turns out that
She was John Lovitz.
it was. I've tricked you again. So yeah. So anyway, so now this guy is looking for the devil, and it goes back to current time, and he has a staff on his closet door, and you hear a howling, and right before the episode ends, you see the maid reaching for the staff.
Oh.
Great episode.
The devil's in the closet.
Yes. Wow. Let him out.
You've let me out of the closet. I've been in here way too long. You never should have let me out of here. You'll see. You're going to be sorry now.
I'll show you.
It is a very fine line between John Lovitz and
J. Gruber.
Oh no, Edward G. Robinson.
J. Gruber. But I knew who you were talking about. Yeah, see? Oh, boy.
What else you got?
I got nothing.
I got Quantum Leap. And
Quantum Leap.
you don't remember this show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, did you like the show?
Dean Stock? Oh, I loved it.
Really? No, I honest to God, thought you would be like, Sentimental Hogwash.
No. Now I'm W.C. Fields. Or Joker Agiola. Sounds kind of like that, too. Ball and strike.
I loved.
No, I
love that show.
love Quantum Leap, and I always like the beginning sequences, like, oh boy, oh boy.
On a very special Quantum Leap.
Dean Stockwell passes away.
Dean Stockwell was fantastic.
Great. Dean Stockwell's. Did you ever see? Was it Gentleman's Agreement? Do you remember Gentleman's Agreement? Gentleman's Agreement was a movie in the 50s. This is another tangent, but it was another one of those groundbreaking movies. It was a reporter who decided to disguise himself as a Jew. He was not a Jew, but he disguised himself as Jewish, and he would try to rent hotel rooms and whatnot, and how he faced discrimination because of that, and he would report on that. Well, his son in that is a very young Dean Stockwell. He's a little boy. He is hysterical in that. You should watch A Gentleman's Agreement just to see.
I'll have to check it out.
Dean Stockwell's little. He's probably like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
What he was in. He was in all kind of movies when he was a little kid.
Oh yeah, and he was in one that I not as an adult. I saw not too long ago. He was a bad. No, it was Where's my fucking bourbon? What's the name of it? Blue Velvet.
Oh God, yeah.
Why did I think of all the quotes in Blue Velvet? Where's my fucking bourbon came to mind? Dennis Hopper.
I just thought you wanted some bourbon. Yeah, dude, chill.
Blue Velvet to me, all I think of is "fuck you, you fucking fuck."
I like Blue Velvet. I thought
That is a weird.
It's a weird movie, but it's good.
Oh, I love it.
It's really good.
Very good movie.
Yeah, but yeah, he's Dean Stockwell's in that, obviously, and he's a really creepy fuck in that.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, he's scary, creepy in that one.
Singing the Roy Orbison thing with the
Right.
with the light.
Yes, good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a he was a sinister bastard in that, and he's not that's not usually what he plays.
No,
but he's usually like the lovable grump that has a heart of gold.
So in this one, this episode's in 1990, and Sam leaps into the body of in 1964 a horror novelist, and there's all kind of weird things, and people start dying, and he has they're making a haunted house, and he has a teenager that's helping him out. His name's Stevie, And then as things get going, things are getting weirder and weirder. And I noticed, I just watched this one the other day, and I never noticed it. But when in the Quantum Leap, whenever what's his name? Not Sam. Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, what was his name? I can't remember because I think of him as Dean Stockwell. I tend to do that.
Yeah, but anyway, whenever he would come in most episodes, you'd hear the door open and shut. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I never noticed that you never heard that. He would just show up in this episode.
Oh.
Well, as it went on and things got weirder and weirder, his eyes were all red, and he starts strangling Sam, and he's spinning him around. And goes, "I want to stop you from messing up all the stuff I've done."
Oh, wow.
That's cool. It was fantastic. And then finally, it goes back to like the beginning of the episode where he had fallen down a couple of steps, and it was a dream thing. But then the kicker was Stevie is leaving, and he had said, "I'm going to make the scariest book ever." Only goes, only then nobody will want to read it.
Yeah.
So he goes out to his Plymouth Fury and pets his pet dog Cujo.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
What a great episode that was. And I guess my last episode was Freaks and Geeks. Did you watch?
I was wondering if you were gonna.
show?
I watched the show and I thought it was good, but I didn't see the Halloween episode of that. And I saw, as I was doing research, I saw a reference to the Freaks and Geeks, and I was thinking, man, that's probably too obscure. But you've got something on it apparently, so
It was. It's one of my favorite Halloween episodes because. The one, so they dress up. They're all thinking that they're too old to go trick or treating, and Sam convinces them, "Well, let's do the one last time." And so one dresses up as Groucho Marx, Sam dresses up as a robot, and then, what was his name? Martin Starr, the actor, was in this, and he dresses up. He's wearing a dress and a wig, and they're like, "Oh, you're a girl." He goes, "I'm a bionic woman."
that's good.
It was a great episode. His sister winds up throwing, hitting him in the head with a egg, and so they get their candy taken away, and they're humiliated by Lindsay, and but it was a very good episode. That show was brilliant. It really was.
Yeah, that's one worth revisiting because it wasn't on very long.
One season.
Yeah, so
I could not believe it was canceled, not picked back up.
yeah, what network was that on?
I want to think ABC.
ABC. Oh, I think you're right. I think it was ABC. Yeah.
But I love that show.
Yeah.
Now, quickly, let's talk about a couple of made-for-TV
Okay.
movies.
Yeah.
So, my first one is Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Oh yeah, this one freaked me the fuck out when I saw it. I was a kid. What was it like?
1981.
81. Okay. So I was 11.
I
Yeah.
was one.
That's the one where he gets
Larry Drake
kicked. Yeah.
is the mentally handicapped
Right.
guy.
And he hides in the scarecrow.
He gets blamed for killing this girl who was, I think, attacked by a dog. And she wasn't even killed. And these vigilante locals round him up, decided he killed her because they were always playing together.
Right.
And so they go after him. He hides in the scarecrow in the field.
Mm-hmm.
They find him,
Give me the pitchforks.
pitchfork
Yeah.
through him, and then a scarecrow starts taking out everybody.
Yeah, I remember one. There was he released a bunch of grain in a grain silo. And
Yes,
yeah.
the guy's hiding in a grain silo,
Yeah,
and
that's
all of a sudden the grain opens up.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that movie. It was. I was freaked out by it. I mean, I was freaked out by the whole scarecrow. The where they kill him. I mean,
Yes.
that freaked me out bad enough. But then it was like getting his revenge. It's like, okay, this is. I'll keep watching.
Good for you.
Yeah. It's like good for you.
Yeah, you go, kid.
You gotta live your best life or afterlife, as the case may be.
Then I've got. Can you hear my pages?
Yes. You've got
Sound
that
effects.
Howard Stern thing going over here.
Hey now.
I have to talk a little bit about Salem's Lot.
Okay.
1979. It was a mini-series based on the Stephen King
Salem's Lot.
novel. Now, before we go into this, did you finish 11/22?
I have not finished it. I'm about halfway through it. But again, it's just a page turner. I don't know. I'll often go through 500 pages of a book in a week, but I've somehow managed, But and I've read Salem's Lot, and I guess, it took me a long time to realize that Salem was a shortened version of Jerusalem. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was kind of a cool revelation for me. So I didn't see the miniseries, so I just read the book.
Boy, I tell you what, this is really, really well done.
Is it?
Man, David Soul is the novelist.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Kerwin is the kid that he teams up with. Fantastic. I mean, this is really done well. And James Mason's in it.
Really?
Yeah. Fred Willard is in it.
Fred Willard is in it. Is he funny or is he
No,
just regular Fred? He's like
he's
okay. He's a serious actor.
Yeah. Some of the creepiest moments ever on a made-for-TV movie are in Salem's Lot. I mean,
So was this on during the golden age of the miniseries, like the 70s, 80s?
absolutely. Yeah, this was like a two-part
Okay.
thing,
Yeah.
but it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So this one was on CBS.
Okay.
My God, I mean,
I'll have to watch that, especially having read the book. It's yeah. I always like to compare how faithfully like a book compares to the reproduction on film.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, always curious about that. But
Yeah.
that was a great book. I mean, Salem's Lot was great.
it was. Then, okay, so this X-Files home, this was a lot different episode. It was basically about some murderous inbred family.
I like it already.
So there was a family there called the Peacocks, and it's brutal. It starts off with a woman giving birth, and then you see three guys, and it's a bit shadowy. You can't quite make them out, but they look kind of screwed up.
Uh-huh.
And they take the baby and bury it out in a field. Well, it turns out that they show some kids playing baseball, and the kid taps home plate, and the blood starts coming up.
Oh, shit.
And they find the baby.
Oh, man.
And the baby is horribly deformed. But they do an autopsy and find that it was killed by inhaling dirt, so it was alive.
Oh, fuck! That's... the buried alive thing is... Ugh. Okay, go ahead.
Scully suggests that the baby's defect could have been caused by inbreeding. And Mulder insists this would be impossible because the Peacocks seem to be an all-male household, because they said that the parents had died in a car accident a couple of years earlier. So now they're investigating, and they go to the sheriff and ask what he knows about this. And the sheriff is Andy Taylor.
Andy Taylor.
That's his name.
Oh, okay.
Sheriff Andy Taylor.
Ha ha ha! Good.
And he actually has a deputy named Barney.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
So the lab tests indicate that the baby's parents were members of the Peacock family. They believe that the three Peacock brothers that are living there, they must be holding the dead baby's mother hostage. So the agents and Deputy Barney, they go to before this, the Peacock boys are pissed off that Sheriff Andy Taylor is going to start coming around. So they show them getting into this I don't know if it's an old Cadillac or whatever. It's a big old convertible, and shows them getting in that car, and they're going to the sheriff's house, and Johnny Mathis is singing "Wonderful, Wonderful." So you've got this "Wonderful, Wonderful" playing while they're heading to murder.
Oh, wow.
And then they park the car out front, go in and bludgeon the sheriff and his wife to death with these baseball bats and shit. And you can still hear Johnny Mathis singing.
Wow.
It's creepy as hell. Then they go to look at the Peacock's house. They have the house all booby-trapped, so the deputy goes in and is beheaded. The two of the three brothers wind up getting killed. They find the woman under the bed. That is the mother. She's limbless and all deformed.
Oh, damn.
Turns out it was the mother. She survived the car crash and gave birth.
Oh, shit.
And all three sons were fathers because they've had inbreeding so long in their family.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, this episode, the network only aired it one time.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, once it's enough. You should see us over here. It's like you should have the flashlight under your chin while you tell the story. Yeah.
Now, some of the inspiration came from a story in Charlie Chaplin's autobiography. While touring with a musical theater production, he stayed in a miner's tenement home in Wales. After dinner, the host introduced Chaplin to a disfigured and legless man named Gilbert, who slept in a kitchen cupboard.
Okay.
So, Chaplin described the man as half a man with no legs, an oversized blonde flat head, and a sickening white face with a sunken nose and a large mouth. He could jump using his arms. Then he would flop around and then sang and danced. Chaplin was fucking freaked the fuck out about this deformed person that they brought out of cupboard.
You lost me at he would flop around and sing and dance.
Yes.
I'm just hearing, welcome to my cupboard.
I'm sorry. It's hard not to sound insensitive.
But that's creepy as fuck.
The fact he would jump with his hands.
Yes.
It's like Mr. Bojangles. Except a horribly disfigured one.
So yeah, that is
God,
that is the very special.
Wonder if you could find that streaming somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's on Hulu, I believe.
Okay.
I believe they have all of the
I was hoping it was
X-Files episodes.
I was hoping it was on Peacock.
Yeah, it should be on Peacock, shouldn't it?
It's seriously a disturbing episode. It is absolutely worth a watch.
Yeah.
And by far the creepiest Halloween episode
Of anything you've ever seen.
of anything.
Wow, and it's X-Files of all things.
X-Files, yeah.
Wow.
Just like the sheriff was Barney.
Which yeah. You had Andy and Barney. I mean, so they had some levity in there, but then they really fucked it up.
Levity's over.
Well, there's so many peacocks.
Wow.
Hey, Ange. Now
It's a pretty good Don.
we cannot go. We have to talk about the Paul Lynde Halloween special. Before we wrap this up, we have to talk about the Paul Lynde Halloween special. This is another one that aired one time.
I came across this a little bit, yeah. But go ahead.
So it starts off with Paul Lynde singing Christmas songs because he thinks he's doing a Christmas. And then he's dressed up as an Easter bunny, singing "Here Comes Peter Cottontail." Then Valentine. Then finally, the housekeeper says it is a Halloween episode, and so his housekeeper is Margaret Hamilton, who was the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So then Margaret says she'll take him away because he doesn't like all the kids.
That's right.
Kids.
What's the matter with kids today?
Oh, and he actually did sing a special version of
Oh, he
Kids.
did? Oh, sweet. That's kind of what he's known for, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
And and he claims to like them until a group of kids in devil costumes take him, torment him, and put him in a garbage can. And two of the kids take off their mask, and it's Donnie and Marie Osmond.
All right.
So then they say they're going to get Paul away from the kids and drive him to Gloomsbury Manor, where Margaret Hamilton, who now looks like the Wicked Witch of the West, to see her sister, who's played by Billy Hayes, as Witchy Poo from H.R. Puff and stuff. Paul realizes they're both witches, and there's a third good witch, Miss Halloween, played by Betty White.
Okay.
This sounds like a really bad trip.
Oh, it's a really bad everything. So then I guess he gets 3 wishes. Yes, he gets 3 wishes, and we get to see
Wishes
them.
or witches?
Wishes. He gets to see you get to see his wishes. And his first wish, Paul wishes to be a trucker. Being reinvented as Big Red, and he is wearing a white coverall studded outfit.
Of course he is.
And he has a girlfriend who a waitress named Kinky Pinky, who was Pinky Tuscatero. And he finds out Pinky has 2-timed him with another trucker played by Tim Conway.
Classic.
Okay, they return to the manor, and Kiss performs Detroit Rock.
What? What?
Yes.
That seems really random.
And then after that, Paul and the witches are sitting through a boring game of Monopoly. Paul offhandedly wishes he were in the Sahara Desert, and he's transformed into the Sheik, lusting after the Snow Queen, Lady Cicely Westinghouse. I played by Florence Henderson. I bet he was not lusting after her. And so he has another the nemesis, played by Conway. And so they have his third. Pleased with his two wishes, he offers his third wish to the witches, who wish to go to a disco. And Paul and Henderson perform that old black magic, and Kiss returns, and they do King of the Nighttime World and Beth. And then the big finale is Paul and Pinky singing Disco Lady, and the whole ensemble dances a disco dance while they're doing Disco Lady.
That sounds like the worst thing ever.
Oh God, it is. And you had Paul Lynde, Margaret Hamilton, Billy Hayes, Billy Barty,
there you go.
Tim Conway, Roz Kelly, Betty White, Kiss, Donnie and Marie.
Sounds like a really weird Mad Lib.
Man,
it does. It's like Hollywood Mad Lib.
This sums up. It really sums up 70s variety shows.
Yes.
I mean, it seals exactly what variety shows were back then.
Did that kill the variety shows?
Killed them.
No, they lasted a while longer after that.
Yeah. Remember in the 80s, Dom DeLuise had his own variety show. Like it would air at midnight on Sundays. Yeah.
Everybody had their own variety show.
It was pretty bad.
Don needs other people, and not a big part. He needs to be. Dom DeLuise always needed to be in smaller,
like a sidekick,
smaller doses.
Like he can't carry
right
on his own. Right, I get that.
Yeah.
I like him.
Oh, I
he's just. I think he's really funny. But
I don't know if you ever saw the movie The End.
Yes,
he was great in that.
Yes, he was
as the completely crazy guy.
Yes.
And then, of course, he was great in Cannonball Run.
Yes. Yeah, he's always Burt Reynolds' sidekick, right? Mm-hmm. That was his thing. But yeah, always like Dom DeLuise.
So, how did you guys like the Halloween episode? Was
very
it scary?
Makes me want candy. Jesus.
I want to find some of them whack lips.
What?
Well, I want to find some of them whack lips.
Wax? Oh, wax.
Wax lips, or maybe the wax fangs.
Whack lips.
Them lips is whack.
Yeah, them lips is whack, Yeah. Yeah. I should go trick-or-treating this year. I could still pull it off, right? I'm like 5'2". Yeah.
Why not?
I think I'm right. It's like I'd be like the only 9-year-old with a beer gut.
This is a juice box good.
Yeah. This is Capri Sun. The house that Capri Sun built.
I swear to God it is. What would you go as?
What would I go as?
Yeah.
Mork.
Bart Simpson.
Ooh.
Mork?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It goes Mork.
Remember the Ben Cooper Collegeville costumes with the plastic mask? You would always get a cut under your eye.
That's right.
And your face would be drenched from your breath, and your face smelled like breath when you took it off. It was horrible.
Where I'm from, it was like Halloween. It's still like 83 degrees.
Oh shit, that's right.
At 10 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah,
so like, oh my God,
we're in 100% humidity.
Right. This isn't worth the candy. It really isn't.
We're in a trash bag for a suit.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, man.
We should do this again.
We should.
We should. Next Halloween.
It seems to be the time frame.
Right.
So we want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. We hope everybody had a spooky time. Were you scared?
I was kind of scared.
I thought you just pooped yourself.
I thought you were stroking out there.
No, I spooked myself.
Brian just took a spooky dookie.
It's a big difference. Spooky dookie. Yeah, jeez.
So we are going to see you again real soon. We're not actually going to see you.
No, we
So
never
don't
see
wave at us.
Yeah.
You look dumb. No, we want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. We hope everybody had a good time. We are going to see you again real soon.
Take care, everybody.
Well, that was fun.
It was good. You had like one of those little things like a DJ does it on a morning show where you had like the sound effects.
Yes.
Weenie in the butt.
We need a butt. Need like spring sounds and rip the knob off. Turn it up and rip the knob off. Turn it up to 11.
Weenie minute. 105.6.
We need to buy butt.
I'm just glad we got through 2 of them.
That's what she said.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Did it, honey. Haven't seen that in years.
Better than circus peanuts.
I kind of like circus peanuts.
Oh, you
That little
would.
little orange spongy. It's like you would.
You would.
You fucker.
That's why everybody hates you.
You would. He's trying to drown us out. Yeah, I got it.
It's over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, then there's like another verse. There's nobody singing.
Should work this way.
Yeah, that'd be fun with it. Why not? We learn all kinds of other stupid shit, right?
Good evening, Sugar Bros Podcast.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. Trick or treat, everybody.